Hello, 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 and welcome to the family gathering. Your favorite aunties have arrived. The party can start now. I'm Auntie AK, and I've come to the party with.
Auntie Nana.
And Auntie Sade.
And unfortunately, Auntie Farah is otherwise occupied, so she couldn't come to the party, but she sends her love and well wishes to everybody. And I guess it's now time to get your plates, get your drinks, and we're about to start the show. What I want to know, because I always ask you how you are, and I feel like we're going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to ask you what's made you sad, mad, and glad at the beginning of the show, because I feel like we need to know what's going on. How are you? Well, go on.
Switching things
up. I wanted to throw myself because I usually go to the document to get my prompts for sad, mad.
You never know. I'm Auntie AK. I'm the reckless one.
I can go.
Okay, go on.
I think I've got them. Hang on, let me just remember.
Is it me or you guys sound? It might be. You sound low to me, but I don't know. It might be me.
No, it sounds fine to me.
Okay.
Okay. So I can't think of what my sad is, but for the moment, mad has been watching one of the baby's full-on lives. Like it's 16 minutes. And that had me raging this afternoon, like literally. And then glad, I have a few, but on my way home to do this, on the radio, they were talking about what was you doing 10 years ago? Like they were celebrating some album that's 10 years old. And so I was in the cab thinking like, what was I doing 10 years ago? Probably doing the same thing. Then it clicked to me that 10 years ago, this week, I found out I was pregnant with a Kai.
Oh, that's cute.
So I'm literally sitting there like, oh my God, that was 10 years ago. So yeah, that's my sad.
Auntie Sade.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a sad. The thing is, it's so bad. I can't remember the young boy's name, but the boy that died trying to save the pensioner, that definitely with me this week. I think he was trying to like stop her getting hurt or something like that, and he ended up getting fatally stabbed. So that was really sad. In terms of mad, the Kyle Rittenhouse murder trial has, I swear to God, that judge is he devil incarnate, I think. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what is going on there, but it's just it just shows the state. It just shows that there will never be real justice for that when we've got people like that in positions of power. Just awful. And glad, bit cheesy, but the proposal that happened at Adele's concert recently, I just thought it was just so cute, and like the the lady's reaction and everything, that, do you know what I mean? I just thought it was just such a lovely moment in the midst of so many negative things happening. It was just like a nice it was just a lovely moment, basically.
And that's very cute. So me, very sad because the family member that we were hoping would pull through did not. So I lost my second mum on Thursday, and that's been devastating, to be honest. And the family's just working through it. So there's lots of love to my family at the moment. It's crazy. Mad. Someone told me a story about something that happened to their child at school, and just the way the school are so annoying when it comes to delivering the rules. And it reminded me of how when I took my daughter to see Beyonce on her 13th birthday in Amsterdam, and it was important because Beyonce was in Amsterdam on the actual April 22nd, which is my daughter's actual birthday, and I was so proud of taking her out there. And when she got back, her teachers made her feel like it was like she booked the trip herself. But I was like, obviously she didn't. They just made her feel really bad about herself after a great weekend. And it just made me angry all over again. And I hate the way schools can make children develop anxiety, which her school, and I will say Grey Coats, definitely did. And I'm very glad that 2 events that the British Blacklist hosted. Well, no, that's a lie. One event that British Blacklist hosted, lunch with in collaboration with Netflix, where we had James Samuel, the director of The Harder They Fall, come down and drop some pearls of knowledge. And it was just for up and aspiring filmmakers and content creators. It was really good. Really, James is an amazingly inspiring individual. And if you haven't watched The Harder They Fall, I think I've mentioned that film so much, like I've got shares in it, but it really is a fun romp. And the fact that the director is a West Londoner, British, Nigerian, and St. Vincent, I think he said his parents are from. It's just, yeah, it makes it even more sweet. So that was really good. And then last night we went to, and by the way, Auntie Farah and Auntie Sade were both there, and it was really good. And then on Monday, Auntie Nana and myself and my cousin went to Reggie Yates's premiere of Pirates, and that was a fun shindig. And the after party, I'm happy to say, or maybe embarrassed to say, that we were the last people standing. We literally were there till the lights came up, but that was because we were in absolute garage heaven, and it was fun. And that's it. So that's my sad, mad, and glad. Anyway, that's supposed to be a quick fire run. We'll see if this works at the beginning. I don't know. Let us know what you think. If we have it at this side of the show or the end of the show to round it out. We're still trying to figure things out. Yeah, so that's that. So who are we welcoming to the family? Oh no, I'm jumping a bit. I'm not used to this. I've got to do the game.
Yeah, you've got to do the game now.
I feel like I spoke because I went last. I feel like I spoke too much. Okay, now it's the game. This is normally what Auntie Farah does, but it's a quick game that
Yeah, it's a game. Go
now, quick one. It's a quick one. Fun questions. This one is. I literally just Googled and found something. There's fun questions. If you're stranded on a desert island and have the option of bringing 3 items with you, what 3 items would they be? Auntie, who wants to go first? Ding, ding,
Okay,
ding, ding.
I can go. Okay, go. 3 items I'm taking. I'm stranded on the desert island.
Yeah.
A self-making water canister. A blanket, and matches.
Very wise. Auntie Sade.
Yeah, definitely a phone and a solar panel charger. So I'll always have battery. And and probably, if I could, as many contact lenses as I possibly could have.
That's very true, so you can see. The thing is, one thing about the question is, like, if you're stranded on a desert island and have the option, why do you have options and you're stranded? Because you wouldn't have the option. I'm just reading it. No. I don't think the question was thought through, whoever made it up. So if I had the choice, that means I'm intentionally making myself stranded. Weird. So in that case, I have a chance to plan. I'd have a nice, comfortable, because I feel that means I can get rescued soon. I have a nice, comfortable sleeping bag, a way to make an ice machine, to make ice, a machine that makes ice somehow, solar powered or whatever, and some sort of radio that's got internet so I can listen to the podcast and music on Spotify, something to play music, and a transistor radio. Anyway, if you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Probably an elephant, because I just love elephants and they have like emotions and stuff. And yeah, I just love them. So, yeah.
Would you be an evolved tuskless one, or would you have your tusks?
I would have my tusks, definitely. I'd be old school. Definitely. Actually, I don't know, because I'd probably be in survival mode, so I'd probably hack them off myself or something.
Oh.
To me.
Oh.
An animal. I swear I've thought about this before. I can't think of what animal I want to be now. Can I be a dolphin? Is that within the realm? Okay. Yeah, I think I'd be a dolphin because they are the most intelligent species on the planet. So I'd be a dolphin.
Well, my favorite animal is a monkey. But especially the little ones. So I think they have fun swinging through the trees and just being naughty. And I'd like to be the naughtiest monkey ever. So yeah, I'll be a monkey.
I can't hear you. You've muted.
Oh, what was the first concert you ever went to?
Okay, I just want to pause on that. The fact that you would choose to be a monkey, but okay.
Yeah.
They are my favorite animals. I love them. They're so funny.
I was totally thinking over it as well. Like, interesting. Okay. What was the first concert?
Yeah.
Oh, the first concert I went to concerts quite late actually. The first concert I went to was Macy Gray, and I was really random in Brixton Academy, I guess it's called now. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called before. But I was interning at Palm Records, subsidiary of Island Records, maybe, I think. Yeah, and the lady that they usually give tickets to was on holiday, so they gave them to me. And that was my first concert. And I only knew one song.
Did you have fun though?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, but it was not how I thought concerts were. I don't know. I'd always seen I don't know, maybe like Michael Jackson or do you know what I mean? Like I just thought it was huge and people dying, not dying. Sorry, God,
fainting.
So, that sort of thing. So yeah.
I try to say goodbye and I choke. Sorry, that's what makes a great impression. Auntie Nana.
That is exactly how she sings. I think it was very spot on. Yeah, similar. I probably hadn't gone to a concert until firmly into my 20s. So I think it was John Legend. I think Sharona took me to a John Legend. He was in Brixton. And that was probably the first kind of, this is somebody's concert that I'd been to. That was all right.
I can't remember. It's either New Kids at the Block at Wembley or Prince at Earl's Court.
Oh wow!
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And I've still got the ticket for. I think I've still got tickets for both of them. No, maybe not. I used to keep all my tickets. But Prince was. I can't remember. I have to get. Well, I don't have to get it. But yeah, Prince at the O2, and I remember being we were at the top of the back, and it's quite a very stuffy middle class. I'm assuming it's middle class. I don't know why class is in it, but they all look like posh white people who are being very polite at a Prince concert. And if you've seen, and I've seen him now 5 times, Prince's high energy concert. And when we were kids, so we were making the most noise. And he said, "Party over there!" So we were very, very happy. And Nika's on the Block. I think it was the first one when their first album came out, and I really was a blockhead. And I definitely cried for no reason when they sang something like "Please Don't Go, Girl." Stupidity, but yeah.
Is that what you guys were called? That New Kids on the Block?
Okay, yeah, blockheads and brossettes, and blockheads were, blockheads were, and the thing is, because New Kids on the Block were the white new edition, basically. How they were marketed. So if you're black or cool, then you like the New Kids on the Block, and if you're a very white, typical white girl, then you'd like Bros. And that was that. That was in our world. I went to school in Wimbledon, so I think the black girls were trying to hold on to as much blackness as possible in a very white space.
That's so funny. I mean, we liked both, but I don't remember being part of teen. Do you know what I mean? Being called a block. But then, yeah, okay, yeah.
But to be fair, it wasn't as deep as maybe today. You've got the Navy and the Beehive and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we didn't have that kind of, I guess, global connection.
You didn't have the space to write your feelings out though. If there was that, it probably would have been the same. You would have been on the internet being
Jodeci. I remember we loved Jodeci. Everyone at my school. I went to all girls school, and we loved Jodeci, and we would literally write their names on our clothes. Everything was Jodeci. It was.
You remember doing the number thing when you'd write your name, Calvin, and then you'd work out what your number was.
And then when you had no, it's LOVES, so you had got none of the letters in your name. It was you're not going to have that percentage that you need. And then I think I remember trying to change it to Adores because it had an A in it, and I had bare A's in my name, so I tried to be Adores, all that type of stuff. Okay, last one. If you could have any celebrity over for dinner, and it has to be only one, who would it be and why?
I mean,
at this moment, it would be Kanye West.
Okay, and why? I mean, we know why.
Do you want me to list all the reasons why? No, I just think at this moment I would have an interesting conversation with him.
Auntie Sade.
It's gonna be Jay-Z.
Yeah,
it's 100%. It's gonna be Jay-Z. Just a gist with him, man. Just chill, relax, chop it up, might fund a thing or two. You know, you never know.
Yeah, I think I would like to. I'm going to say something different. Part of me is like emotionally, like I want to do Lupita because then we can finally work out how I can be her when she's free, basically. Yeah, because I've been coveting her career for ages. But then maybe really would have to be. They're not really a celebrity. Would have to be one of either Elon and Jeff. Just like, come on, what's going on here? What's behind the curtain?
That is true.
And have a chat. And that's that on that. Okay. Auntie Shada, who are you welcoming to the family?
Oh, okay. So, guys, I'm welcoming to the family a young lady by the name of Gina Obeng. And she is known on social media as just Jean. She's a PT. And she really helped us like during lockdown, kind of like keep our mind straight, like really focus on fitness and stuff. And, you know, she's just smashing it on a daily basis anyway. And unfortunately for her, she had an incident where she was minding her own business, enjoying her life at an event, and she literally, a bottle was thrown and hit her in her mouth and like smashed her tooth, busted her lip and everything. She had to have stitches, all sorts. She's just put up like a little reel and TikTok story about it. So go to her page. I think it's at @just_Jean, EEN. And yeah, so she's just talked about that, and like this happened like 5 days before her doing a big campaign activation with Gymshark. So like this was like her own show. Her name's everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And she's done like a countdown of what her face looked like and everything like that. And she's just the epitome of like perseverance, epitome of, you know, feel the fear and do it anyway. Like she really just. It's just so inspiring. Do you know what I mean? And she had an amazing event despite everything that she was dealing with. I mean, her lip did go down a little bit, but you know, if you look a certain way, do you know what I mean? Like,
you want to be your best for a big event like that. Like, you don't need a traumatic thing happening and then have this go on.
So she had to kind of like fight all that, you know, fear, insecurity to kind of just get on it. It's a very visual, being a PT is a very visual industry anyway. Do you know what I mean? So like, I can't imagine, do you know what I mean? Like dealing with that on the day before a massive event like this, you know, and the event was a success and everything went well. And I just think that we should be embracing people like Gina all the time, like all of us kind of thing, and trying to champion her and support her as much as we can, because she is us and we are her. Do you know what I mean? I would like to welcome her to the family.
Welcome, Justine. Welcome, Gina. Is she a niece or a cousin?
I mean, I think she's a sis. You know,
a sis.
Yeah, she's a sis. You know,
she's quite a bit younger than us, though. Or to me, she looks it.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't say
I'm in these categories, you know.
Say that again.
Who, me or Nana?
I don't know. One of you. Both of you. I couldn't hear what you said.
I said I wouldn't expect her to call me auntie. I would call her sis or little sis. Do you know what I mean? Because, do you know what I mean?
Okay. And not a cousin.
Not a cousin. Cousins. She could be your cousin. She's not the Ghanaian mafia.
Yeah, actually. We're going to have to look into it when we go to Ghana.
Exactly.
Okay, so what have you heard? This is now the part of the party where we now discuss. When you're at the party and everyone starts getting into politics and it just never ends and starts turning into debates and stuff. This is where we're at. What have you heard, guys? Auntie Lana, what have you heard out there?
Can I just quickly do a quick rundown of comments?
Sorry, I can't see the comments. My bad.
Oh, okay, no
problem.
Go ahead. We're just saying hello to Andrea and Nicola and Ronald. Nicola says, this was for our game earlier on, would you rather always have bad gas or always have really dry mouth? We can come back to that when we have a moment. And then Nicola also says, my first concert was Prince too.
Whoa, Nicola! Which one at Earl's Court? Where? Quickly, answer, quickly. Excited. We could have a whole show about Prince. Woohoo! Okay, cool.
Okay. All right, so my story. is, hopefully most people have seen this now. There was a concert taking place in America, some festival, and a singer called Sophia Urista, she called somebody up on stage, like one of the fans. Earlier on in the concert, she had said that she needed to go to the toilet, but there wasn't time for her to do this, and proceeded to do a golden shower on this man's face in front of everybody. So there's lots of visual evidence of this. It's disgusting. Like, you're literally seeing wee splashing everywhere. It's on his face, and he's shaking his face in the wee. Her bum is out a door. She pulled down her trousers and her knickers live to the audience. They all watched this, and then just pulled up her trousers, and all the while she was singing. I think it may have been like screaming, "Take the shower" or something like that, but literally this is what took place. Lots of people who were at the concert complained, like, I did not sign up for this. And then there was another discussion as to whether or not this was actually assault on the fan. What do you guys think?
And I'm horrified for the start. Auntie Sade.
Yeah, this is disgusting. I mean, if he didn't consent, then yeah, it is assault for sure. Like that, you're using your pee as a weapon. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. You know what? Okay, people are into different things. Okay, but that doesn't mean that it belongs on stage in front of people that have not consented to witness this. So he might have consented, but I think for something like that, you would need explicit consent. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Are you okay with it? Do you know what I mean? You need to sign something to say that this is fine. Do you know what I mean? And I think that there is something about, I think this kind of goes into this bigger conversation about reform in like kind of like concerts anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think like when you're buying tickets to concerts, there might have to be built in, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm consenting to watching this or whatever kind of thing, and stuff. But I just think it's foul. Like, people can get away with the most nasty behavior, to be honest. And it seems like this lady is getting away with it. But it's just, this is not normal. I'm sorry, it's not. I'm not even sorry. It's disgusting.
I mean, seriously, are you like? I mean, I would never go upstate. I mean, I don't know if it's assault, because essentially you went up because even I don't know what type of band this is. I'm not sure.
They're heavy metal, but they're a cover band.
Anything can happen. I've got something to show you guys as well when I get. I'm just trying to find it as well. That I found on Twitter. I'm just going to line it up so that I can faff about and show it to you guys when I'm ready. But okay, the audience again is similar to Travis Scott. You can, do they know what they're getting? Is this woman one of those reckless rebel rockers that could do anything? So the person that went up on stage and said, yeah, she's talking about she's going to pee on people or she needs to go to the loo. Did he know that this is a chance that this could happen because that's what she's like, or did he think, she's never going to do that and was think it was a play, and until the shower hit his face, he was like, oh, for real? So that's a question of intent, so, and whether he really understood that this was going to happen, because then it is an assault. It is assault. It's damn out of order.
By all accounts, she's not done this before, but she has done slightly outrageous things, but nothing like this, nothing sexual.
Is it? Oh, but okay, but pissing is not just sexual. It's also just you just pissed on them because you're a nasty person. Like,
but I think a golden shower is generally like
the golden shower act in the act of sex, but this wasn't. She was talking about this was I just need to go piss. I can't go to the toilet. She said she couldn't get to the toilet, and to me, I mean, where's the professionalism? I never saw anyone run to the toilet. Maybe they do in their change breaks, like Beyonce and Prince and even all the big stars that I've seen on stage, even Nukas on the Block. Then no one ran off to go to the toilet in that respect. But as I would expect that they really needed to go. Why would you get a fan receptacle? What the hell is that? I mean, worst case, you could run behind, pull out, and they could just do it on the floor behind the stage if it's that bad. Why do you have to piss on someone?
Artists have definitely wet themselves before. Like,
yeah, I think that I've been in that article that Fergie said she wet. So I'm sure in whatever they want, they're just like, fuck it, I've got to piss. So
yeah,
what she did was nasty, disgusting, and trampy. You trash. Bye, Auntie Nana.
Yeah, no. I randomly woke up really early in the morning, and on my explore page was a video, but it was on some random page. So when I'm watching it, I didn't think it was even going to be picked up. I thought I had just stumbled across some crazy person who had seen this and filmed it and was just watching it in horror. That literally, if I'd gone to any night and that took place, I would be thoroughly offended and want my money back. Like, just like, I don't want to see that act in any way, shape, or form when I'm just trying to like rage out with other rockers. Like, literally, that is. And that she weed in his face, I found even more offensive. Like, that's really humiliating. So now this man has to go back into the crowd with pissy face, like, just, and his clothes and everything. It was just like, this is disgusting. But
nasty.
By all accounts, the fan was like, no, it was fine, and was really happy.
All right. Before I show you my thing that I found, which is blew my mind, who would you let piss on you of all the stars?
No one.
Nobody on earth.
Why would you do that?
No, it was. It was only because the man said he was happy. So I was like, I wonder if there's anyone that'd be like, okay, this person pissed me. I'm happy. No, me neither. But I just wanted to check.
In my face, like, literally, not even any of the boys managed to get wee that went near my face.
Yeah,
you know, when you're changing their nappy and they just start weeing. Like, that is probably the closest of anybody. It's been a child that has had urine go anywhere on me, but there's no celebrity. No, that is just foul. Like, but I don't know. I felt she has a partner and she's a lesbian, and on her Instagram page, it's like, it's quite wholesome. Like, you wouldn't think that this would happen to her. Like, she has a cooking show, she's got bare followers. It's really normal.
The thing, this is I was gonna say, like, I just think that sometimes, I don't know whether this is because she's a woman, it's been okayed. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way on earth, if a guy done this to a female fan, that this is okay. Even if they consented, it's not okay. Do you know what I mean? So why is it? Do you know? I think it's just a bit of a double standard. She should have been basically arrested or something. Like, what the fuck, man?
What is going to happen? Is anything going to happen to her?
I don't think so. It doesn't seem to be of any talk of like anything is gonna actually happen to her. Like, she isn't being punished in any way.
And why do people think they can get away with that stuff? It's just like Ozzy Osbourne when he's like biting heads off bats and shit. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. Like, honestly, it's not entertain. That's not entertainment. It's foul. Yeah. It's foul.
So let me show you this. How do you feel about?
Don't know what. It depends. Is it gonna get us shut down? What are you showing
us? No, I'm not gonna get shut down. Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah,
I'm sharing it.
Yeah, okay, cool. It's coming up.
Can you hear me? This is crowd. Are you ready?
Hang on.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, look. This is called crowd killing.
What? This is just fighting.
This is called crowd killing. And at rock concerts, this is what they do. You intentionally put yourself in this mosh pit and you just get wild upon and you can't react. You either react or you just stand there and take it like those people did. So I couldn't believe I saw it. That's it. Stop sharing me now because I can't do this bit. Yeah. So that man got whacked in the face and stood there. And that's called crowd killing. It's a real thing.
Okay.
So you go somewhere and just get beaten up?
Basically.
While music is playing?
Fight Club.
With music.
Wow.
It's just random. I saw it and it's like, yeah, everyone plays aggressive bumper cars with each other or something to that effect, but it's more than that. Yeah.
I'll never get over. I could never really understand what it is about humans that just purposely want to hurt other humans, like, and see it as entertainment. I don't get that.
But for me, it was the receiving end of it because I just saw it on Twitter randomly, and then I thought, oh, is it a fight? But no, he stood there and was just like, You just got kicked in the face and punched.
And punched. Like, he's lucky he's still standing.
To be honest. But anyway, just it's just added to the nonsense. Obviously, heavy metal, and it's a thing. The things that go on, and it's normalized in heavy metal. Like, this is actual. Imagine hip hop. We have a sanctioned thing where you can punch each other up. It would never be allowed. It wouldn't even last.
Imagine though, if, like, let's say Nicki Minaj did this, because the Barbs are so diehard fans. Like, I imagine she could piss on somebody's face and they would have it and
Absolutely.
love it. But if Nicki Minaj had done that, I swear she literally would be cancelled now. Like, she would be being crucified.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, you know, Sophia Urista gets a couple of. She probably like got a good 50,000 more followers.
Probably. She was like, she's cool. She's a rebel. Yay.
Maybe she is. I don't know. Like, even if it's BDSM or whatever it is, it's just no. Not. You need people need to know what they're signing up for. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be horrified if I was there. I can't lie. It's disgusting.
No. Oh God, I wanted to ask something else, but we have to move on. Okay, Auntie Sade. What have you heard?
So my story is about at least a European country called Portugal, who has decided to make it illegal for your boss to text you and or call you after working hours. And I just wanted to know, what do you guys think about this? As we're business owners, do you know what I mean? It kind of puts us in a unique position. Do you think this is practical? Do you think it can work? Do you think they should bring this to the UK?
Oh, Auntie Nana.
You know what? Like, I read this, and that's exactly where my mind went to. Actually, for the people that I have working for me and who I work with, sometimes I do contact them randomly. It's not to like action work. It could just be if I don't get this out or process it quickly to them, I may forget. And sometimes they do respond. And I don't think this is fair. Or maybe there needs to be a penalty system. Like, if your boss is always doing it every day, then, you know, but not once in a while. I don't think it's fair, really, is my sentiments about this.
I think as I suppose, having employees, I definitely round the clock. My sister and I will message whenever, but there's an understanding, and I think it's about setting the boundaries of your terms and conditions of your workplace, isn't it? Because it doesn't say what hours. If it's like blanket after 6, and that's definitely unfair to the multiple different businesses that operate in different ways, and especially if you have international clients or technology services and stuff like that.
No, it's not that. It's just whatever the employee hours have agreed to is outside of those hours.
It's like,
that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like, so I'm just saying that if those boundaries aren't set, like if it was like everybody 6 p.m. and that's it, then that's where it's not fair, is it? I think, but if you're in a business like, and there's an understanding that actually we've got unsociable hours. Oh, I get what you're saying. Sorry, Shade, I get you. Sorry, my bad. I get what you're saying, but I suppose I don't think it's unfair, because it's about the terms and the terms that you set with the people that you work with. I think that's fine. I don't think it's unfair. I think that's my answer. I don't think it's unfair, because the person that you're working with should know the things, and unless it's extenuating circumstances where you need to have a chat, then you do that. But if bosses are taking liberty because of the seamlessness between, especially if you're working from home, when does it ever end? And that's definitely something I suffer from, and we all suffer from. Like, when you're working from home or in your own environment, that cut-off point of when you're meant to stop working is very difficult to define. Because it's so easy to continue. So, and then you then automatically go into everyone that's working with you, then they kind of should be in that mode too. And if you're that type of, maybe whoever that, some people are quite strict bosses, and the team might feel like, oh my god, if boss is still on, then we have to still be on. So all that type of stuff. So I think it's being conscious of your boundaries and setting those time limits, and then I don't think it's unfair. Auntie Sade.
So I think it's okay as long as it works both ways. But I think it will be an adjustment period as well, because I think like we always get this story of like it's always the boss like trying to contact the employees, but they never say the other side of the story, with the employees contacting the boss.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? And like I, try and set rules like with my team, although my team is much smaller now, but like I don't want to be contacted before 9 o'clock, regardless if I'm working or not, unless it's absolutely urgent. People don't listen to that. They don't care. They just say what they have to say when they want to say it, kind of thing. So I think they need to take into that consideration too, because I think often with bosses, it's like you're supposed to be available whenever your employee needs you. And you kind of like dehumanized in that kind of way, that your needs and things aren't taken into consideration sometimes. And also like sometimes they put a lot of stuff on you. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, this is heavy stuff, man, and it's only 7 o'clock. My day. Do you know what I mean? So, but I think it will take a lot of adjusting in the UK in particular. Like I think I don't think that you, as an employee, if your message outside, it depends what it's for, and it depends whether you're expected to have an immediate response, right? Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like, oh, just a notice for tomorrow. So by the time you get in, this is what you need to know. Because if you don't do that in time, they're going to be in a difficult situation or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I think it depends. I think it's I think it depends on what the scenario is. I do think there are some bosses that do abuse the contact with their employees and stuff. And I do think that you as the employee should push back on that when you can. And then if you have a work device, that gets switched off. So when working like with clients, for example, if we say our hours are this to this kind of thing, if you have contact with one of my employees, that contact goes outside that time. Do you know what I mean? Like you need to kind of set those boundaries. And if you are working like how I work with clients, like you need to support your employees when that happens as well, kind of thing, and advocate for them to make sure that they're not doing ridiculous do you know what I mean? They're not doing ridiculous amounts of time of work and stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. For sure.
I was just thinking. Oh, go on, Auntie.
I was literally just thinking as you were talking, like I can see how the benefits would be like in a case where you are like my boss is actually or the company is taking the piss out of my life because I'm always have to be here. There is a culture of this. If it's in the law, it's easier to actually like fight it, to literally be like it is happening. So I get how that would help a lot of people. We should probably think of having something similar over here. Would they? I don't think so. The British are like slave traders.
Oh, yes. I can't remember what I was going to say now. I can't see if there's comments. If there are comments, please let's have them.
Okay. So from our earlier talk, Ronald says if the fan stayed, the fan stayed there until it finished, it wasn't assault. And Nicola says it can and does work for many companies, but this also stops bosses from contacting people when they are on holiday. That's a good point. Yeah.
That's a very good point.
I can't
remember what I was going to say.
You shouldn't do that unless there's an absolute emergency.
Absolutely.
And also as well, I think providing that the person on holiday has given a robust handover, right? Because there's that too. Do you know what I mean? If you're the only person in your company that can do something and you're not available and the company can crash if you're, do you know what I mean? Like there's that too. I think yeah, go on, sorry.
That's a great point, because then it's like this could actually expose the flaws in your system if you haven't got those full safe plans for when someone's not available. And especially that danger where it happens. I'm a small business and a lot of the information sits in my head or in documents that only I have access to. So if I wasn't available and my assistant needs to do anything, she's going to have to contact me, and I don't have the right to get mad at her because I didn't give her the keys to the castle at the time. So there's definitely exposing the flaws. Sorry, go on.
No, that's fine.
All right. Auntie AK, what have you heard? Well, there was an article in the New York Times that was discussing Black people code switching when they date outside their race. The title is "Do You Hide Your True Self Whilst Dating?" in New York Times. It says, when dating interracially, some Black people say that code switching, a common practice of adapting the way they look, speak, or act in different social settings, comes as second nature. And it's some of the comments were, I'm just trying to find. So there's a woman called Mrs. Barnwell who had been straightening her hair since childhood and being reinforced that the idea that her natural hair was not enough, was pleasantly surprised at her white partner's afro. And she said at first, I was really nervous, but he was immediately obsessed with it, which was a relieving and satisfying moment. And he was saying, I know people in her life have criticized her tight coils, so it's been especially nice getting to see her feel that attraction from me, no matter how she wears her hair. Mrs. Barnwell also said that she toned down when getting to know someone who is not Black. She won't play soul. She won't play soul music, wears clothes that don't expose her curves, and avoids using African-American vernacular English, commonly known as Ebonics, in conversations. She also went on to say, I also wore my Birkenstocks to my first date with Ben, which I'd never wear on a first date with a non-white man. Someone else went on to say, yes. Joseph Lamore, 38 years old, a journalist and illustrator who lives in Washington, said it wasn't until a white boyfriend confronted him about his change of vernacular that he realized he altered his speech. He said that when he asked someone for direction that was a Black person, he kind of spoke in, I guess, Black slang. So he acts like, he said when he goes out on a date, he consciously puts on clothes that make him appear to be more Don Lemon, who's that kind of quite nice, appealing presenter, the American TV show presenter, newsreader or something, and instead of a 50 Cent type, even though I have both types of clothing, he said. This is articles in the New York Times. So whatever the case is, this is the conversation. So, and also another woman, Mrs. Bruna Westry, who lives in Austin, Texas, said, the slang is ingrained in me. I say that she's from the South. So she says things like yes'm, which is a total Southern Black country term. She said she wouldn't use those phrases around white guys. And she said her mother's use of Southern slang has also made her anxious about introducing her family to that of a prospective partner who isn't Black. Cool. Right. Let me get that. Those are my points I needed to get out. So my thing is, right, first of all, is it that deep? And second of all, this pressure to minimize your Blackness in order to date outside your race. Why? But then I thought, actually, and then I wanted to explore, are there things that you might do to minimize something about yourself on the initial first date? And maybe you might feel like, you need to ease the person into those parts of your either look or personality, so as not to offend a prospective partner. Auntie Nana, maybe, just hypotheticalize your life. But yeah, so my first question is or just discussing, to me, it was insane. But yeah, go ahead. What do you think of this story, Auntie Nana?
Okay. It's not that insane, actually. And I think for quite a few people that I know that are in their initial kind of grounding into a mixed race relationship, I think they do that. I think you hold back a little bit. You'll do your safe. I guess you do that in relationships anyway, but I see it more racially being done. So you're going to do your safe, palatable friends who are not going to make that person feel uncomfortable, especially if it's a white person who this may be like their first Black partner as well. Like, I think it's very measured how you get invited to places. Generally, me and Russell would be like the initial kind of welcoming committee. And I'm very aware of, so we're here to be really nice to this person. Like, literally, I'm not a rude girl. So I could see why this is what you want to do. But I more look on how comfortable is your partner being in a Black space, because we aren't afforded that luxury. And I don't think lots of white people even think about it when you're the only Black person in the room. But Black people always think about that when there's a white person and they're the only white person in the room. Or like you kind of get sent over like, oh, she's by herself, like go and speak to her. And it's like, really, I don't think I'm the friendliest person anyway, but I'm going to be nice to the person. But if they're standing by themselves, they're standing by themselves. Why are they not going over and trying to make conversation with people? It's a bit annoying, but I think it's done in so many different ways. And I think if people were being honest, probably most folks in a mixed relationship have done that. and then you're kind of, I don't know, maybe it progresses, and then you kind of have more conversations and open up to your way of life a little bit more than just conforming to their way of life.
Auntie Sade.
Interesting. I kind of understand why Black people are socialized to think that they should, you know, be less of themselves when dating outside their race. I get it, but I just don't think you should do it, because you're not teaching anyone anything. You're not helping the situation, really and truly. Like, it doesn't help anyone. All it does is puts pressure on yourself to be something that you're not, and to continue to play a role that you shouldn't have to play. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's frustrating that these types of things are still happening. I think that this article has a particular agenda, it seems like, and it's really highlighting, you know, voices that kind of meet the point that it's trying to make. But yeah, I can't say I can speak on it from a personal experience in any kind of like depth or anything. Do you know what I mean? I probably, if we're talking about Nana's experience, I probably wouldn't be the first person I wouldn't be in the welcome committee.
You wouldn't be the rollout person.
No, I wouldn't be, unless that person is very secure within themselves and is not trying to be something that they're not also. Do you know what I mean? Because you get that, you know, on the other side too, where you have white people that try to adjust themselves because they think you want them to adjust themselves. And it's like, no, just be you. Just be you. I'm going to be me. You be you. You don't have to, you know, it's not a compliment by, you know, changing how you say hello to like yo, or do you know what I mean? Like, that's not a compliment. That doesn't you think that you understand the culture in the way. Yeah. The worst. Do it, and I don't get it. But yeah, it's I think there's a lot of learning that needs to be done there. Like, and I think you're absolutely right in terms of me personally, I decided long ago
you're getting our bug.
Never to walk in anyone's shadow.
Literally, you know, but like, you know, I decided that I'm gonna match your energy. So if you are not part of my culture, and that doesn't always pertain to race, it can be, do you know what I mean, like other parts of blackness, or, you know, just other gender, whatever kind of thing. But if you're not part of you know, my kind of like immediate group and stuff, I'm going to match your energy. So if you try with me, I'm going to try with you, because what I find is that being a Black woman, it just seems that we have to try and accommodate and suppress and do all the work to make other people feel comfortable. And I decided, not anymore. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm overdone making other people feel comfortable. You make the effort. Do you know what I mean? And if I like you, then I will make the effort too. Do you know what I mean? Providing you don't say no bullshit in the first 5 minutes or anything like that. But I'm going to check you if you do. I'm going to have to check you if you do. But yeah, I'm not that. I'm definitely, if you want to test to see if they're comfortable, then bring them around me. you want to get to the final boss level, but not in the initial stages. I'm not going to pander for anybody. No, I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, when I said insane, it was more the fact that it's insane that these guys are talking about it. But I get it, because there's a community of people that are going through the same experience. So you want to share their experience and their journeys and their issues. And that's a lot of issues, to be honest. That's an unhealed person that feels they have to do so much to attract someone. And it's also, that's a lot of effort to date outside your race. So is it, what is it? Are you someone that's, you know, these people, the ages I think I read, they weren't all like super old. So are you, because it's different if you're like, you know, someone has been on the shelf and you're like, do you know what, I'm finally going to try and date outside. I can't get no Black man or whatever, or no Black woman. So I'm going to go outside my race. these people over various of ages where I don't know what their dating experiences are, but I'm sure in amongst this group of people, there are people that actually actively want to date outside the rest for whatever reason. And they have this belief that if they assimilate as much as they can, they'll achieve what they want. So that is, to me, that's trauma, pain, and insecurity and issues all the way through that. Growing up, I had the usual insecurities that some women have or whatever about myself and my looks, and I was very adamant that you will meet me as I am. So I was always minimalistic with makeup. I was always like, this is who I, even down to having extensions in my hair and stuff like that. I'm like, you're going to be as much of myself as possible, because I want you to, I don't want no one to say, well, you didn't look like that when I first met you and you've switched up on me and all that stuff. So, and me dating outside my race is not something that's on my table in this part of my life anyway. So I could never see myself straightening my hair and not saying slang, speaking the slang, and oh my God, yeah, I couldn't see myself doing it. I think it's quite sad that people feel like they have to do that. There's definitely, presenting your best self. But if you think your best self is looking white and sounding white because you're dating white, then that's a problem, isn't it? So no, it's weird. It's insane that that's happening. Yeah, I can't remember my own questions. I just thought it was wild, and it's one of those ones I didn't necessarily like it being something like the New York Times, but because who are you talking to? What's the point of this article? What does it? Go on.
Say, just to be clear as well, like just to be super crystal clear, because I know people like to twist things up. It's not that I'm against mixed interracial relationships either. It's really not that kind of thing. I just don't think you should minimize yourself for anybody. And then also, just like to go back to your question about is there other things that you do when you're kind of at the beginnings of relationships? Personally, I think it's a difficult one. I'm probably a bit more quiet. Then if anything, I'm not as talkative at all kind of thing, because I'm more of an observer. So I'm kind of like listening and trying to ask questions that are going to tell me more about you rather than reveal about myself in the beginning stages. I'm probably more like that. And that's probably a protective mechanism as well. Do you know what I mean? Because, when you're first dating, you don't really know if the person's going to really accept you for who they are. And then also as well, do I even like you? There's that bit as well. As well, you need to find out about them. And yeah, I think that quietness actually, I do that in the workplace as well, kind of thing. Not so much now, but in the early stages of my career, well, let me say my corporate career, because for a long time I just worked in the Black community anyway. But like in my corporate career, I was definitely, in the first maybe 2 or 3 years, I was definitely more silent Bob than anything. Do you know what I mean? Like I would just not. I didn't want to integrate, to be honest, because I was just like, I'm not comfortable here. Do you know what I mean? So why would I want to be? Why would I want to be? And also, imposter syndrome, just constantly thought I was going to get fired all the time as well. So yeah, it's just, I think my go-to is being quiet.
You know what? We kind of get taught to do that.
Yeah.
So that kind of minimalizing and being quiet and watching, even if you just think of reality TV, whenever somebody does step up and they are just being themselves and they're Black, they usually get removed very quickly. Yeah. So when you want to play the game, you really do keep quiet, speak when you're spoken to, like you kind of lay the land, you get quite a few people to like you, and then you start showing bits of yourself as you're going along. And I think that's generally how we're all in various degrees conditioned to survive in this world, because if you put your head up a little bit too much, it will get cut off. And it really it's one of those questions, is it smart or is it conforming? Sometimes if you want to be around in this world, you just got to try and survive. And once you manage to get a little bit of a stakehold in something, then you start doing things to maneuver things. But when you're kind of beginning or finding yourself in the world, I think it's a smart thing to watch, be observational, and then show who you are little by little by little. Don't give them everything at once.
That's smart. And as you guys were talking, I was thinking that, when you have the white person in the culture, that they tend to embrace the culture full-heartedly. The ones that and again, it's all anecdotal, but the few, especially if you have come from a kind of traditional you know, we have like, I know one of my mum's friends' daughter is married to a white guy, and he, you know, he can speak tree. He wears all the garms, all the you know, the white attire when there's an event and stuff like that. So he's fully immersed himself in Ghanaian culture. And then I suppose I'm going to say, so if a black person does that to assimilate with their white partner and their family, is that so bad? But because it's such a negative thing to be losing your whole identity to, but then, you know, we don't question
shift, isn't it? Because and that's a rarity, right?
Yeah,
and also as well, they're not going to be. Well, no, that's not necessarily true. Yeah, I would say that I kind of want to say that you don't necessarily lose as much, or you can really retreat. If you want to switch off, you can switch off, and no one's going to do anything different. Whereas if you're black, you're black. Like, you can't. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't turn that off. I was just thinking, actually, like, my probably first experience of like an interracial couple was like my best friend's parents in secondary school, and her mum was just amazing. Like, white lady, she actually taught me how to cane roll, believe it or not. But you know, she just took the time to learn about her partner's culture, that so much so that I didn't know that wasn't a thing. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if you was, then that's what you do. So it was surprising to me when I met more mixed race people that their parents weren't like that. Like, I was just like, huh? Like, they don't know how to do this? What? Like, that wasn't. I think I got maybe, I don't know, lucky. I don't know if that's the right term, but like,
I agree. I agree. I had a similar experience. It really is. Maybe it's generational.
Maybe
because it was harder, like decades ago. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was more of a shunning from the white side, where you really did go to your partners, and the black people are embracing anyway. I think it would probably be easier to kind of slot in and learn things. Whereas now you see it a lot less. Like, literally, it does feel like people are just losing themselves. Like, they just lose their blackness. But it's one thing if you're fine, but lots of people then years later start talking about how I missed culture, I missed my people, especially when they move away. And it's those are the things where it's like, what are you losing in doing, in assimilating? Really, what are you losing? And I think that the loss is quite a lot, if they're being honest.
And we shouldn't have to, right? We shouldn't have to assimilate in that way. That's the overarching thing. Like, you know, if we were all equal, as they say, or this was, you know, truly multicultural, truly democratic, or whatever, like, we shouldn't have to even have an ounce of feeling that I have to change myself for anybody else. That's
because. And also, it's that thing of like, you're making the effort to date outside your race. If that person meeting you as a black person, then they should already have an idea. You know, if they're cultured and evolved and not, you know, expecting a stereotype to walk through the door because of their limited perspective on what black people are, then they should be absolutely willing to meet you as you are. Because that's that fear of, oh God, they don't want a white woman. They want, and there is that kind of stereotype out there where white men are very embracing of a natural haired woman. If you're talking about natural hair, where you feel like you have to wear a weave, or you know, whatever kind of blackness that you're trying to hide, you know, a cultured person would not bother about those things. That's not what they want. They're coming to because they enjoy being in the company of a black person. So
that's the hair thing. I feel like that could happen in a black relationship as well.
Absolutely.
Like, so I think that the hair side of things, although thinking about it, all right, Meghan is probably never going to have curly hair again. Like, we're probably never going to see Meghan with natural hair. Probably never going to happen. Like, when we watch her old videos when she was a kid and her hair was all, it was afro, I can't see her transitioning. But there are lots of black women with a black partner who also their partner would hate if they was like, oh, I'm going natural now. That glammed and straight look is also a persona that they are bought into. I don't think that's just the policing of black people's hair. Like, around the world that is done, really. And that could be a factor in anybody's relationship, more so than the kind of assimilation type stuff.
It's interesting. Have you got any comments? I can't see them.
Yes.
Stop saying that. I can't see them.
Okay. All right. So Nicola asks, who wrote the article and which publication is it in and what was the point of the article? What was the publication again?
Shall I answer that? It's New York Times. It's behind a paywall, but I think you get some free ones. I'll try and drop it in somewhere. In Facebook. And it was written by Brianna Holt.
There we go. Look up Brianna Holt to see what she's up to.
Yeah, let's see who she is.
Candy says, Auntie Nana, it sounds like you were being asked to present yourself as one of the good ones. That is exactly what was happening. Nicola goes on to say, it was really clear what you said, Auntie Sade. You said match my energy. So I was thinking more like boardroom stare down. And she goes on to say, who blinked first? Like that meme. That meme with Diddy and that guy.
Yeah,
and they're staring at each other.
And just to add, I'm also not the one that people like to bring, but people just get on my nerves. They assume I'm going to be like, I'm black, I'm black to white people. I'm probably out of my group had the most time in living with white people and being fostered and stuff like that. But my friends definitely feel like I'm the one that will just kick a white person in the face just for being there. But
I think it is because you're not pandering. And
no,
that
I'm
was
not pandering.
Funny hearing the stories of the white women that had been around you and your friends, and it was always like, oh no, a queer doesn't like me, and it's like she just didn't pander.
Yeah, I was about to say, because she very much honed in, and I'm there's prior story to why we could never be cool. However, I was never rude or anything to her, and it wasn't about her race, but there would be an assumption because, sometimes people look at the work that I do. I have black people doing it and assume that I'm so black I can't even bear to talk to white people, which is so not the case. Black people make a lot of judgment about who I am and my intentions in life.
No, they do. They freaking do.
They really do. And then, so on top of this, her kind of having an idea of what I did, she would go out of her way to poke the bear, and because she wanted to get it right, and it was me, and I'm like, I'm not paying you any mind, but because I'm not pandering to her, because she had a little bit of that, I'm the only white in the room, so everyone should actually love me because I'm the white in the room. You should all be in awe of me because anyway,
be grateful that I'm here.
No, I'm here, and why does this one particular not want to engage with me?
Yeah, I don't understand it. But it's centralizing themselves.
Yeah, man. And that will make me even more like, I will do more. That's where you will see I might just do the blackity black thing just to get on your nerve.
I remember being in a bar one time with some of our actual mutual friends, and these guys were asking, "Oh, what are we drinking?" and stuff. And what was it? So annoying. We was drinking Jamaican mules, and he was just like, "Oh, who's Jamaican then? Who's Jamaican?" I was just like, what the fuck is this? So I was just turned off instantly because I'm just like, this is annoying. So I was just like, what are you guys drinking? Trying to move the conversation, like just stop. Basically, he's like, Russian mules. I'm like, so who's Russian then? And he was just like, none of us are. Oh, okay. I can see. You know what you're saying is stupid then, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
you know what I hate? I do hate when we're out. And I think it's happened. I think it might have happened with all of us in different ways. When white people, and this is maybe off on a bit of a tangent, when white men especially, their self-importance comes into our group and feel like they should dance near us and think we care about what the hell they're doing, and maybe they put attention from other black people in the world, but they really, really think that what they can do is just stand in the midst of us and feel like we will be impressed. That is where my panther steps in, and I'll be very straight faced. I think when we were in Santorini, there was a white guy that was very full of himself, and he was trying to get our attention. It was in the first night's club, the all white party.
Yeah,
he was very, very much like, and that's where I get a bit. Yeah, you don't need to.
He was.
I get very controlled in my mind when I see black women entertaining white men when I can't really tell that white man's agenda. And that's maybe my thing about white men, possibly some white men. But when I see that, it's like, you want our attention and you're going in for the things that you think that a black woman would do, like you're making them kind of twerk and your twerk and that kind of interaction where you want us to perform in the music video that you just saw last night. Makes me fucking mad. It makes me mad because that's when you're casting a massive stereotypical brush across us all, and you think I'm going to stand there twerking for you. I will never. Even when I'm drunkest, I will never. And if you say it to me, I beg my friends, I give you permission to drag me and throw me across the room.
Have you seen that video that's like Black women, you're never truly alone? And it goes into various things that Black women are doing, just walking. And then there's like a white man just sitting at the bar, and there's like a white guy. It is a bit like that. It's like you'll be somewhere and somebody will, oh my God, you guys are all so beautiful.
Yeah.
And stay a little while and gaze. And it is like dust then, isn't it? Like, thanks, bye. Like,
I'm not going to be grateful.
No,
I'm not going to be grateful.
It's very weird. Like sometimes I really do want a camera around to just be like, there's almost like a force field, and they'll keep on trying to come in. You can't just be alone and just do your thing.
I feel like white men don't have that experience from Black women, I think. And I feel like white women would have the same experience from a Black guy.
Yes.
Do you get me? The same experience we get from white men, white women would get from a Black guy.
Yes.
But white men wouldn't get it from a Black woman. Do you get me, Shadow?
No, give me an example. And hey, Farah, by the way.
Hey, Farah. We miss you. I'm saying that I feel like the annoying attention we get from potential white men in a space, I think I can't imagine white men having that story to tell.
I get that, but like Black
I'm wondering.
Giving unwanted attention to white women, is that what basically?
Yeah.
I've witnessed that quite a few times. Like when there's a group of white girls and Black men are around, I think they literally do think, because the attraction, they believe that the attraction level is always that they are the most attractive man in the room. They will kind of go over and interact with them, regardless of if it's like they were even looking at you or entertaining you, or it's just there's a beeline that will take place. Maybe that is what men do. That's the whole thing. It's like you're not respecting women's space to just be. You have to insert yourself. Like the conversation is going to die if you weren't there.
I was going to say, because I don't know because if the comparison would be if it goes back the other way, and I think it does go back the other way. So like when some, let me say some, be careful, some white women see groups of Black men, that's not do you know what I mean? They don't mind being up in their space. They don't. Yeah. True. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. Because I think when Black men are in maybe whiter spaces, then they think that, do you know what I mean? That they're there for them almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're right. Because I think even the power dynamics between white women and Black men in white women and Black women in spaces where there's going to be attraction, there is that kind of sense of puffing up, and they will center themselves because they're like on the assumption that obviously they'll want us, not you. They'll want us.
Yeah.
But what about the other way around? If there's a white person that might gel down their baby hairs just to feel like they've got to get that, to assimilate into the Black man's world, or I don't know what could a white man do? Again, when kente cloth to attract his Ghanaian girlfriend. Is it the same thing? I mean, you said it's not a loss, but I suppose it could be a bit of a loss, an identity crisis.
It's usually music, isn't it? It's like they immerse themselves in music. I notice in a club, especially when somebody has quite a few Black friends, that they seem to know all of the lyrics quite often.
Oh, you have to.
You need those cultural, like it's like a song will come on and they are the ones that are like, and they know all the lyrics, and I'm always a bit like, all right, it's cool. Like, but
it's better if you're going to. Then it's better you make the effort, though. Do you know what I mean? Rather, I kind of thought like.
Well, you know what? I always thought that if I was ever, which as far as I know, I'm not ever, to date a white man, I wouldn't want a white man that's.
What?
I don't know.
No, it's not.
Because in my mind, I was like, I'd rather you be 100% confident. For me, it's like confident in who you are.
With a freaking white van, be all right, Koya. I come.
Yeah, that's. I think maybe I'd prefer that.
Oh, really?
You get me though, because I'm like, I'm
saying.
Yeah, like yes.
So you wouldn't go out with the Azonto guy, but you'd prefer to go out with like the cabbie.
I feel like be confident in your whiteness, innit? Do not come to my side because I'm not coming to your side. Let's bring our cultures together and figure it out for our kids.
But okay, I'll tell you something. Yeah, I know a guy. Well, I used to know a guy. I don't know him now because he's a dickhead. But anyway, like, although he's not white though, he's actually black. Well, he's mixed, and he's like mixed African and literally American, but he feels like he was brought up in Caribbean culture, and that's his culture, and that's how he speaks. He sees the world. He's in that. Do you know what I mean? Like when dancehall, reggae, bashment, whatever is on the dance, like he's number one. He knows all the words. He knows all the dances. Absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. And it's just like it. That's what I have issues with, because I'm just like, but bro, I get that you like the culture. Do you know what I mean? But that's not you're adopting that culture. Do you know what I mean? Like you're adopting that culture, and I wish he would lead with that, but he doesn't. He leads with that's me. Do you know what I mean? So it's interesting because it's like I've never met someone like maybe in my age group that's so like just a different person to who they really are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it's protective. It's you're protecting yourself so you don't stand out, especially if you feel insecure about who you are. So you're just trying to hide yourself. And I remember when it was the times of, you know, Africans versus Caribbeans. I had a friend, I think I talked about her before, and she used to drop Caribbeanisms, and she knew a lot more Jamaican, so I'd say the Jamaicanisms, but it wasn't right. It didn't sound right. She's African, and it was just like it sounded annoying to my ears. And there's one thing where we have colloquialisms that, you know, nowadays especially everyone's saying wagwan to wahala to kwasia
and all of that.
Yeah, so wahala, exactly. So all the cultures are mixing in words, and there is that kind of. There's our version of Ebonics that kind of taken over youth culture and the way that they speak. But there's a line where you then become like you're wearing it as a cloth and you're wearing it as a costume, and then you're actually being insulting. It's not a compliment to have you come in and say "wagwan, me brethren," and just doing all the stereotypes. It becomes too much. You can honor and respect and enjoy it. I love a dancehall, but you're not going to have me doing an Adele.
Well, this is the thing, and I always thought, like, if you was a white man doing this would be so off. No one would be cool with this. No one would be cool. But for some reason, because you're black, you're allowed. It's weird to me. I think it's weird.
I don't think I can say what I was going to say.
Okay.
I don't think I can say what I'm going to say. Maybe we have to do this offline. But it's just because I was going to identify somebody that. Yeah, we have to be offline. Okay. It's just too close to home. But it's an interesting conversation. Maybe another time not related. We could. But yeah.
Okay. Let me get some of the comments. So the Candy says, living in Essex, I'm well versed in experiences like what Auntie AK. Yes, you're never truly alone in Essex. She goes on to say, they do a rhythmless body pop, thinking you're full madly in love with them. Yeah, it's quite amusing. We should actually film it when we're out. It's funny.
Okay. Yeah, we should.
But yeah. Okay. I'm gonna find my list. Okay, let's get there. All right, it's time to get to for the culture. We've where we get into what's gone on in social media world. No, it's not. It's Aunties Know Best. Sorry.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, my battery.
Yes. Aunties Know Best.
Oh God.
Aunties Know Best. Aunties Know Best. I can't even find my triangle. I haven't had it for a while. I haven't been in the mood. I don't know. I think I got mum spirit on me today, so I feel a bit excited. Aunties Know Best. Aunties Know Best. Aunties Know Best. You see how a tail came? It's so you
know what? You guys literally just woke my cat out of his sleep. Like that is.
Oh, honey, welcome.
He was loving the rhythm.
He put his head up. Like, what's that?
No, he was loving it.
Honey, wake up.
Vibration.
Honey, wake up. Honey, wake up.
We're gonna make him mad.
Excuse me. All right, Auntie Nana.
Okay, this was a dilemma that was put in a father's group that my husband's a part of. Now, the father is married, and he has a friend who he did sleep with previously, but is now a friend, and they are looking after this friend's children in their home, and sometimes she stays with the married couple as well. This has been going on for a few years now. She has 3 children, and the couple have now taken these kids on like it's theirs. But obviously, they know that this is mum, but she isn't too good at looking after us. And so we have this mum and dad as well. So they're all there kind of living together. One of the children is a biter and bites the mother, the real mother. And then the mum bites the child back on the face and leaves a bruise. Now, the wife was there, and she is a nurse and a child abuse. I think let's call it advocate. It has another name. So she actually called up the authorities about this on the mum. Sorry. And was literally like, this is abuse. Like, she bit the child, took pictures, everything else. Now the mum is really vexed at the couple because obviously she's having to deal with social services. And he was saying, what could he was asking advice on what can he do to sort this situation out, and how is the mother, the one that bit the child, vexed that she was taken to the authorities. This was put in the group this morning.
I ain't gonna lie, I tailed off at the end. I was like, this is too much. I forgot what you said. I didn't mean to laugh at the abuse side of things.
How can I help this situation out?
I mean, I don't think he can do much apart from support his partner and also the children. Do you know what I mean? He can be, he can provide evidence as a witness, I guess. Do you know what I mean? If he's only, I don't know. I don't. Like, she bit her child in the face. Like, what can you do? Like, you need to keep her away from the children. That's what you need to do. Like, that's wild. That's actually wild. Like, it's one thing to discipline your child, but that's just too many steps too far. Like, you're clearly unfit. You're clearly in a position where you need help anyway. So it's good that you recognize that. That's definitely a step. But if you don't understand that biting your child in their face because they bit you is wrong, then you need help, babe. Do you know what I mean? That's all you can do is support the partner done the right thing, let the authorities know, and hopefully they'll get some sort of stability away from a mother that bites them in the face. It's just
bonkers.
Yeah, insane.
So he slept with the woman,
but that's
years before. I'm looking for this, providing context to how.
Yeah, I'm just walking through the story because there's a reason why she's mentioned. They slept together, became friends, no longer sleeping together. And then they took on the kids. So are they taken in the kids as in they're now our stepchildren to help this woman out?
They all live in their house.
Okay. And the friend.
Yeah. I think she's more of a come and go person.
Because she sounds like she's got stuff going on.
Yeah.
Have the couple kids, by the way?
No, they are having problems having children.
Oh.
So oh God, I think it's everything you said, because yes, you're damn right. You have to call the authority. I laugh because it was just like what? The child's a biter, so the child's got issues. The child needs help. The mum bit back. But there's no reason on this earth. I mean, in a very, very light-hearted
in that situation.
I don't know if I think that before authorities are probably a conversation. I think that especially because that's very extreme in the moment. I think there might be steps in between, because if you, as the woman in this relationship, you've actually welcomed another woman that the friend of your husband, which is already is quite tolerant of someone, into your marital home or relationship home with her children. And obviously and she comes and goes.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you're conceding here. So then to say that one sign of something like that, you're going to call the authorities. That's why I said, and he slept with her. So in another story, it could be like she knew, or she has some suspicion. So she's like, I need this woman out of my life the best way I can. I don't maybe have the strength to kick her out just on that Do you know what I mean? It's like this, and it's any.
That's a big bet to wait on. She's gonna do something mad, like bite.
No, not that she waited, but this was like an easy thing where you quickly went to authorities, whereas anyone else.
I don't think that's quick. I think that honestly, like people need to move faster with these things. Do you know?
No, I know that. I think technically,
but she did. Imagine she didn't go and tell the authorities that she bit the child in the face. What's next? Like, if that's your response to your child biting you, your child biting you is to bite back like some rabid dog. Are you all right? Like, no, you need to go under the jail, as far as I'm concerned. Like, that is ridiculous.
The reaction is quick as possible, but it just seems like in the real world, I don't know if people would do that without the steps in between. Like, what is the situation where you wouldn't have a conversation with your husband first, or bring the woman to the table and be like, what happened there? Why did you do?
She works in child abuse prevention. That's what it sounds like. That's what I'm gonna do. Of course.
That's exactly what it is. It's like she's a nurse, but she also has those responsibilities. Yeah. And it may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, she may have done a couple of things, smacked them a few times, but seeing the escalation of the violence, because that is, people get bitten. You know, kids bite. So like some kids bite, not all of them, but from time to time, you'll get one kid that is a bit of a biter for a time, and they can kind of get you off guard when they are biters. But to be like, I'm going to bite you back, smack or something quick, I can understand. But actually, like, I'm going to bite you back is something crazy. That's
like yelling something. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, send them to there's many things that you can do before you bite back your child in your face. Like freaking cats bite. Do you think I'm biting my cat in the face back? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous. And the face as well. Like, seriously, that's psychotic behavior as far as I'm concerned. That's not. And the thing is, I think we do live in, and I think maybe I'm a bit passionate about this, but I just see, and I have seen, like, where there is a blatant evidence of abuse and people thinking, no, maybe we can just talk this through. Maybe we can just have a conversation. You can't have a conversation with that. That is irrational behavior. And it's against a child who is defenseless and vulnerable. No, you can't. You can't rationalize that.
I hear you.
No, I don't think there's no way to rationalize or anything. I'm just thinking of humans in the real situation. It's that immediate step, because I guess it's that human nature. Like, usually people, and I think maybe I'm from a position of people are usually reluctant to call authorities into situations. They tend to try and deal with them themselves before they go to that. And actually, as you said, people should be more ready to adopt a quicker response to things like that they see. But it is that space where this woman's in your, because it is a bit like if it was my setup and I had a friend staying with me and whoever's friend, I don't think it actually matters, because once the person's in the house and everything's agreed, the friendship dynamic might disappear. And she bites I see her bite her child. I don't believe the first thing I do would call the authorities. I believe I would have a conversation with them and see what that is before I call the authorities, because it is that thing of, oh gosh, am I getting this person in trouble? Especially if we have a relationship, it is a big thing. If you know them, because it's like if I know you and I know your situation, I know your life, I might not. But again, and that's why I was like, there's stuff in between. Is this the first of many, last of many, or do you know?
I just think that it's just a.
I'm saying, if it was a friend, would you call it on a friend?
Of course. Like, I'm escalating that immediately, because that is wrong. Like, you can't bite a child. Like, listen to what we're saying.
No, I get it. No, I get it.
Not slapping, not yelling, not kind of getting a slipper. Do you know what I mean? It's not. This is like, you're attacking them. You've left marks on their face.
Yeah.
It's psychotic.
No, what they've done is wrong, and I think they definitely.
You can't rationalize I don't mean the thingy, but you cannot have a normal conversation with someone who displays that kind of behavior. They're clearly not in their right state of mind, so therefore they cannot be around their children anymore. Like that, it's just because then what are you saying to the other children? As long as she talks through it and says that she's sorry that she can stay in the house again. Do you know what I mean? And next incident, she does something more. Do you see what I mean? Like, it just builds.
I get you. I still don't think. Myself in that situation, the child is going to be in my care now, like full on. Like, there is. I don't know if I would involve the authorities other than us trying to sort out me getting guardianship. I probably wouldn't put that criminal aspect on it and get the police involved. It wouldn't be my first thought. My first thought would be, these kids are now my children. Then I'm going to social
But you don't
service.
have any legal standing unless you really explain what the situation is.
That's what I'm saying. That would be my first thought.
What it is for them
I think
to actually make some sort of, because otherwise they're just going to go with their mother. Do you know what I mean? And then she'll probably bite them maybe on the other side of the cheek next time, or maybe on the neck or the arm or what's next. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I think it's a natural human reaction versus what you should do in the real thing. Because I definitely am with you. There's no justifying it at all. But I think I'm thinking.
And I think I'm just stressing the point. It's because when these things do happen, and worse, that people just be like, oh, actually, let's not. When actually, clearly, you're not stable. Like, this is not like it's not a normal reaction to a adverse situation. Do you know what I mean? This is not normal. It just isn't, you know. And I think it's I get like people don't want people to be taken away from their kids, but some people should be biting their kids in the face, and then maybe that wouldn't happen.
It's not even. It's definitely. It's not so much the splitting up of the family aspect, because I do think like there are parents that have just zero rights to their children and they're abusive. It's more when you put them in the authorities that they're also not safe. Those are the things where it's like, I call on a system that could take these kids and put them into a foster home, and those people are also abusive, and then I've even lost my proximity to the children. It's the ramifications of when you get social services involved and the amount of power that you lose, and you don't know where these children end up. Those would be the things that I'd be thinking, should I be involved in them, or can I just remove them?
There's no win, but what you do, you just need to do everything in your power to stop that woman's interaction with her children.
Absolutely. That would be my primary mission, really.
Fullest force, as far as I'm concerned. Because sometimes as well, like when these things happen, if the children are safe in the environment that they're in, then they stay with that in that environment. Do you know what I mean? So it's that, because there's no spaces anyway. Do you know what I mean? Foster homes are overpopulated. They don't have the space, so they'll rather leave them there if the people can take them.
No, I hear you.
Seriously,
I thought this was a little quick one.
Okay, now it's time for
Ronald has said, if the man's partner is a child abuse advocate, she knows at what point to contact the authorities. I wouldn't second question her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, now it's time for the culture. What's the word on the road? Look, there's a bunch of things that's happening out here, and I know you guys want to talk about the baby.
We must.
And Danny Lee.
We must.
And the live drama. I mean, in a nutshell, the baby and Danny Lee. Do you know what? I don't have words, but the baby, the rapper, and then Danny Lee, the also a rapper or a singer or something. An artist. Is she?
She's still making music, but I wasn't sure if her music was rapping or if she was a singer.
Well,
we've played one of her songs on the show before.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because
yellow bone is what he wants.
Yeah. So she had the controversy of, you know, and the thing is, in these lives, she looks if she talks about her heritage, she looks very I can see the black in her if she's telling the truth. Or that was a controversy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whether she or not she had the right to use the N-word or something like that.
But
was that her
in
issue?
one of the lives, she is using it.
Yeah, she's using it
willy-nilly. So anyway, so they've had a child together, and controversially, I don't know I don't follow them. I don't really know what's going on. I just saw this. It blew up on Twitter that they both did their own Instagram lives to diss each other, and what superseded that was the baby literally telling her to get out while she's breastfeeding and filming her and just denigrating her in front of the world. And it's just gone viral, and it's sparked for me a lot of conversation about accountability, because there's people, especially like someone like Sideman was like, well, I don't feel sorry for the girl because, you know, you guys the baby has lyrics for days that talks about the kind of misogyny and mistreat of women that he does talk about. He raps about it. And so why should we feel sorry for a woman that puts herself in that position? And others were like, well, you know, let's just talk about the baby's behavior. Let's leave the woman out of it. Anyway, guys, come on now. You break it down and have a chat. I don't know. It's disgusting.
Let's talk about it. I think Sideman's stance on this whole situation was disappointing, actually. That in what we witnessed was, aside from Danny Lee, and I have no love for this chick whatsoever, but she has just had a baby 3 months ago. She's in the house, and a man is kicking out the mother of his child and his child, and she's clearly there saying, you've told me to move in here. You took me out of Orlando to come and stay with you because you was missing us, and now you want me to leave. And him trolling her consistently, following her around the house, calling her a side bitch, all of that. He kind of negated talking about that, but talked about the fact that she has now put herself on the roster as one of his baby mothers. Like, that's the thing that you don't feel sorry for. It's like, but what's the accountability of this man? It's like he literally only just got uncancelled like last week. He just got the green light from the gay community just last week, and then now he's here flipping, kicking out mothers. It's like, I'm thoroughly disgusted by him.
Auntie Sade.
Obviously, I mean, I'm not a fan of either of them at all. Do you know what I mean? In any kind of real way at all. I'm torn, to be honest. I'm actually torn because on one hand, yes, you're right. It's disgusting behavior from this guy. Am I surprised that he's behaving like this? Absolutely not. Would I expect him to behave like this based on his past behaviors, interactions, his inability to use common sense? No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. But what I think it's difficult for people to where I think the sympathy is waning with people is because it wasn't that long ago when Danny was part of the brigade against his first baby mother, and very similar to Summer Walker coming out saying this, saying that kind of thing, and now you find yourself in a similar position to what she was in. So at the time, you had no sympathy for her whatsoever. You had no empathy. You had no time. Do you know what I mean? And you're bringing out tracks like Yellowbone to kind of pit yourself against her in this way. And now look at your situation. So it's just a lesson to people, I think, to women. And I think this is what, I don't want to defend Simon, but I think this is where he's trying to go with it. It's just that if there's a woman saying to you, I've had this guy's kid, he's not a good guy, he might be to you, but this is what's happened to me. Do you know what I mean? It's for you to really just take a little bit of heed. You do what you want to do, but take a little heed. But don't fire shots at that person. Do you know what I mean? That is, I think, uncalled for. And if you're planning to be that person's baby mother as well, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's never a good idea because you don't know. If you're number 2, you don't know if you're the pattern yet. With Summer Walker, she was number 4. You're the pattern, babe. You know what I mean? but you know, seriously.
He has proper form, tried and tested roots.
Tried and tested, over time, consistent. Do you know what I mean? This is what it is, babe. No amount of singing, no amount of lyrics is going to change his behavior. That's who he is. And I just think that there has to be, and I do think we within women should have this conversation that there needs to be some, I don't know what it is, and not to get too thingy, but like some mass healing of like not going through with and not settling with these guys, these types of guys. It's not, they're not going to do anything for your mental health, your self-esteem. You've had a girl child as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like this is part of her now. This is what you've actively brought in to your existence. So that, it's like, when is it enough? Do you know what I mean? Because it's almost like, I don't want to say it, but like sometimes the choices you make determine your existence, like determine your situation. And this is what it seems to be. Now, on the other hand, why isn't Sideman talking to men who act like this rather than talking to women who are the victim of this? This is what I thought it was. I don't know why he went down that route. He didn't have to. I thought it was real easy for him to go down this route without him seeing like the actual bigger picture, really and truly, because there are more men that act like this, like, to be honest, probably in his immediate circle. Really, I don't know, allegedly, but but yeah, do you know what I mean? Because it is not the norm for men to check other men about this. It's not the norm. So you could have done something. You could have actually done something instead, rather than jumping on the bandwagon and just beating a woman when she's down. Do you know what I mean? But like, I think that it's awful. Even with Summer Walker, when we talked about it last week as well, kind of thing. Like, it's just awful. Like to be kicked out, or to be like through pregnancy isolated. Like it's the worst thing you can do, man. Seriously, it really is. It's scum of the earth behavior. But like, I don't know how many lives the baby's got. I don't know. But he's, I don't know if he's going to be cancelled for this.
He won't. I don't believe he will be. I absolutely don't believe he will be. I think it's everything that you guys said. And when I saw Sideman's post, I was like, we've had this conversation. We haven't had a chance to. Maybe we'll be one of our future Aunties After Darks or something like that, where we really do explore women and accountability, because we are very, as women, we defend ourselves, especially as Black women. We feel like we're always victimized. We're held to such higher expectations of standards and stuff like that others don't have to jump through so many hoops just to have a man, or be desirable, to be worthy of being wifed, because those are the things that are instilled in us and growing up. You've got to be the best wifey and be so perfect for a man, and the amount of things that we concede to just to say that we've got a man, or just to feel desired. I think it's just really hard to criticize us when we do make stupid moves, and we do. And there are women who intentionally get themselves in situations. There are women who definitely, like Summers and the Danny Lees, who will stand there caping for a man, who will do this. Because I saw a video, and I don't like, I'm very disconnected from getting engaged with celebrities, and I have not tried to analyze it, but I know when I was younger, I literally immersed myself in celebrity culture. I read everything about everyone. And as I'm older, I'm less, because I understand humans can just let you down. So I really do disconnect from what people are doing. But I just happened to see a video with the baby holding her hair. It's a video where they're dancing, and he's just holding her hair like that and then it's like she kind of kicks in, they go off screen, and she comes back and she's holding his. But for a long time, you let him hold your hair and had you dancing she was dancing like, it's just so weird. It was so degrading. My thing was degrading. He was holding her like a puppet.
Oh, okay.
Like a puppet and a pet, and just like, you're nothing to me. And I swear, when the baby came out, everyone was like, wow, the baby, he's cool, he's fresh, he's breath of fresh air. Such a fast spiral downward. And if this is where Sideman, you need to actually, because women, we know the story out there. We know, literally, with the Danny Lee is, she succumbed to the glitz and glamour of a rapper. That's an easy solution to resolve. Love yourself more, woman. But what about the man that feels that what he's gonna do is go on a live and hold his woman's hair like a dog, and then later let the woman have a baby for him? I'll say for his world. If we have a baby with this woman that he's calling a side chick, when men are so quick to say, you guys know the game, you know the rules, and then you tell each other, don't wife a side chick, don't lay down. But yet we have so much men out there who have side chick babies, but yet you lot are so strict to the code, and you know what you're doing about the code. We're the dumb ones. But yet so many of you have been caught out time after time after time by women, how, if we're going to talk about them in a negative way, that we would call ratchet, ghetto, hood, scrappy, whatever, hoes, whatever the case, however you want to diss them. Men constantly get caught out by these guys. Why are you getting caught out? If you're so smart and we're so dumb, why are you consistently getting caught out by women that are considerably less than your status that you put out there? So Sideman, talk to the baby, ask him, why are you having a baby with a woman who you considering a hoe and a side chick, when the man code is side chicks aren't worth shit? You're supposed to keep them on the low, get them to slob your knob, bust a nut, and then dash them. But yet somehow,
I think he planned to. I think he trapped her. Basically, I think he
so.
just pulled up. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, did it? I don't know his story.
I think that's what he does. I think like that thing that some men can do. Like, I'm always going to be in your life in some way. So he wants to do what he wants to do. But obviously and bare people were like, but he blatantly loves his baby mother. When she first started going out with him and being out, and the baby mother was like, okay, thanks for ruining a happy home. Like, there was people being like, he loves this chick. Like, he is going to leave you. Don't get above your station. And then now look, it has happened. But at the same way, I think he does and there'll be others as well. I think he has that form. Like, I don't want this girl to go, but it's not going to be just me and her. She's going to have a child, because then I'm always going to have access to her. Yeah. I think that's his game. And the fact that there was people in the house with them, his sister was there and his friend was there. And even when his sister was interjecting, you see the power play. Like, she's obviously like, I don't want to lose whatever the baby gives me. Like, so when he's saying things to me, I'm just like, yeah. And then the sister was talking to Danny like, yeah, you just need to pack up and go. And it's like, how are you allowing this to take place? Like, this is a new mum. She's clearly in distress, and you're just allowing your brother to be on live and ranting about it. But he probably has a family load of folks that are like, he's the breadwinner, the kingpin, he's the source. So he can go about and do whatever he wants to other human beings. Like, I was just so disgusted. And it is like, he can go on stage and say things about gay people and HIV and lose literally his livelihood income for a few months, but he will do this. And I bet you that tour that he has just announced with Live Nation, like the Rolling Loud tour, is still going to go ahead. Like, he isn't going to lose anything because he's done this. And this, to me, is far worse than him standing up on stage and ranting. Like, what he's done is disgusting. He should thoroughly lose. He shouldn't be played again. Like, literally, it's like, no, you need to be cancelled all over again, the baby. Like, because you didn't learn the first time, so you don't care about your career, really, do you? But he ain't going to lose it, because he knows, I can do shit to women and nobody's going to say anything.
But that's the thing, because I think that's because there's a story. Remember, I think last week I was saying that there's a story about Dr. Dre, and he's bringing the icons of hip hop and R&B, or Mary J. Blige being the queen of hip hop and R&B, together at the Super Bowl. And the fact that he's managed to do that, and Jay-Z, in the story that I read, really campaigned for Dr. Dre to be allowed to do this event. But yet, Dr. Dre's got a very questionable history when it comes to women. And on top of that, all the conversation about his daughter. So you've got icons like Jay-Z, and Dr. Dre is an icon in himself. But these people are advocating for each other to not be cancelled. There's hip hop heads that have gone out on a limb to say, let's not cancel the baby because he's made mistakes and stuff like that. But where's the account? Again, so much, it's just an easy cop out to talk about the girl in it. But where's the account?
They don't value women.
They don't value women, and they don't
at all.
It's like there's real empathy for men amongst men. And I guess, and maybe this is a gender thing, so maybe it's a bit obvious what I'm saying. And obviously women, but then maybe not, because I feel like women will diss a woman for the sake of a man, but I don't really see a man. That's why Sideman was getting into so much trouble, because when he did advocate for women, men were coming for him and saying he's a simp and all that type of stuff. But men don't go out on a limb for women. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm repeating myself, and maybe I'm saying what's obvious, but it's just very strange, because we are in this world where icons are just, and I don't know if it's a black thing, because I'm trying to think, I don't frequent white circles. So maybe there are loads of WhatsApp groups and rock stars that we like, no, leave so-and-so. He's just done this. It's all right.
Of course there are.
That's what I'm saying. I don't frequent those spaces. So I just, in my bubble of my world, it's very black. So that's what I'm saying. So it'll be interesting to explore how culturally this
sorry, it's just hip hop that is popular right now. Do you know what I mean? So that's where the focus is. Like, but of course, like I think whenever you get like men in power with no restrictions, you're gonna get some sort of abuse and oppression of women. Like it kind of just goes hand in hand.
It's more about the advocacy in public eye. Like there's again, but like I said, my bubble is very black, so I see more TIs, and I'll have to put Jay-Z in that space, and Charlemagne's and Snoop's advocating for men that have done wrong. I don't know if there's the same equivalent in the white pop world, metal world, and stuff like that in a vocal way, to the point where they're so against the women who are maybe in that space. It's either there's, to me, it's like silence or the one kind of hero, but no, I'm not going for that.
I think it's different. It's just different, but like, you know, you've got Prince Andrew in a bit of a jam at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Because of his friends and his ties.
Are there people? Yeah, he's getting away with it. Who he is? But are there people? Is there, apart from maybe Piers Morgan? I don't know what side of this.
Donald Trump. Like this.
I was literally just thinking Donald has fallen for that. He'll marry them though.
Yeah.
Even for 2 years or whatever, he'll marry them, but there's still like a succession of, I had this kid and then I moved on to this one.
No, I don't mean that.
I know what you mean, but like but that is Donald Trump all over. Like people endorse him all day. They know what he's done. Like they know what kind of man he is.
Yes. That's the point. It's like they are there and they don't lose anything for those types of things. They can have lots of kids and lots of wives and lots of women.
No, absolutely.
And they don't lose anything. I think that's like the world over that happens.
Yeah,
I think there's definitely, I guess maybe it's cultural though, there are different positions that women will play in different cultures, but I think it usually comes with the title of a wife. You'll get that, but you'll still get dumped on in the same way, like that. I think those are probably the firm differences.
It's a silent acceptance of this is your lot in life, and that's it. And that's culturally, this is what we do and how we do it. You're going to go along with it or not
until we're done with you. Like basically, he's just done with her. He's had Danny Lee. It's like, I'm done with you now. I want to move on again.
I just love to explore.
Alan, do you know what I mean? It's people like that, like people that
that keep
Charlie Sheen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Charlie Sheen was a proper bugger, wasn't he? Like he do that a lot.
Like, it's those types of people. I don't know. I don't. Go on. Sorry, what you going to say?
No, I was going to say the conversation is. It's just, again, we say we don't have conversations about women and what women's accountability, but there is not. I've not really seen in the way, like really unpacking the issue behind it. What's your issue? That even the fact that it's advocated that, you know what, get her side, even the whole side chick thing, you're a side chick, know your position. And if a woman decides that, you know what, I want to step out of that box as a side chick, then she's broken all the codes. But yet, and then you get vilified for breaking the code, but yet you don't get vilified for breaking the man code, for having a baby with a side chick.
He was just gaslighting her. That's all he was doing. And
no, I get that. I get that.
Sign of a narcissist. Do you know what I mean? He was just devaluing her and discarding her at the end. That basically, just to kind of fuck with her mental health. Really, I think like these men in hip hop, let's say that, they support each other because I think the bigger picture for them might be like, we're trying to keep this money in with us. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So that's why they go out on a limb for each other. I'm not saying it's right at all, kind of thing. And like so much has happened to get to this position, like where hip hop is. Do you know what I mean? So to let it be to crash and burn because of like one person's like, you know, kind of like bad behavior. I'm using inverted commas here. Like, I don't believe that this is it, but like, I think that's what it is. It's just like, you know, what's it called?
The money machine.
Money machine. Even he had side chicks. Do you know what I mean? He was like, you know, one of the arguably greatest civil rights leader of our times. You know, so like, people will always justify doing what's best for the cause. That's basically what it feels like to me, that they're constantly just justifying, this is what's best for hip hop, this is what's best for Black people to move forward and to keep the money in our pockets.
No, I hear you on that. I think that's a valid point.
Do we have comments?
No, Candice was just adding in Marilyn Manson. But I don't know too much about him to say that he has
Actually, I know he's
formed for doing the same type of thing.
He had allegedly, I think he had relations with someone who was quite young or something, and he was very controlling. Apparently, the story goes with Dieter von Teese or something.
Oh yeah.
I just scrolled an article. It says in Rolling Stone. There's an article that was just released on my birthday on Sunday, called Marilyn Manson, the monster hiding in plain sight. The intro is he was a provocative media darling for decades. Offstage, exes allege he was an abuser who made their lives hell. A Rolling Stone investigation based on court documents and more than 55 new interviews. So they're coming for him.
Okay.
Well, I guess he served his purpose for whatever purpose he was serving at the time.
He's gonna get his moment. Yeah, there is that power and
then you've got Kanye West inviting him to the holy cult thing that he's got and endorsing him and saying we're not going to cancel. And this is where we're at. And for me, and just back to that Kanye conversation, that's the type of stuff like
I can't support.
It doesn't matter what type of man you're endorsing, but as a black man endorsing, would Marilyn Manson ever come and endorse you as a black man if you had those accusations and you're as a black man anyway? Just saying.
Ronald is asking, is there a difference between a side chick and a groupie?
You have to ask your men folk, man. So like, I think it's all one and the same. It depends on the groupie is someone that I guess just comes around to get that opportunity after and I guess in the stereotype is that after an event of that wherever they see that person, they happen to get lucky and they get to sleep with a celebrity. And then the side chick is someone that's kept on in a relationship of some sort, defined by the boundaries of being hidden.
The side chick is not the main girlfriend; she's the side girlfriend. But
and the groupie is definitely.
Yeah,
the groupie is a chancer. It's a chance thing because I think you could get moved from a groupie to a side chick. I'm assuming.
Definitely. A groupie is a one or two off occasion. A side chick, you can go from a groupie to a side chick because you was a groupie and then you managed to get a consistent
your loyalty
run with the person.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's basically what he's saying. You had a consistent run with me, and now I'm over it. But he was wifing her.
He was.
You was posting pictures of her. That's not a side chick.
Unbelievable.
This is the thing. Anyway, so that's that on that because damn. Do you want to talk about the MOBO nominations?
Just to say that I thought it was good. I thought they had a good selection of people from what I was seeing.
I did see someone tweet that they were someone Caribbean, and I think I know the girl is Jamaican. I think she was very annoyed with the reggae category featuring so many dancehall artists. And with award shows, they tend to lump cultural categories with they mix the artists. So they said the reggae category, and it's not reggae, it's dancehall. Be specific because you're miseducating a bunch of people. And then I know back in the day, sometimes the Afrobeat category might have some random throwbeats, and then MOBO in itself has had the musical black origins, so sometimes there are a few white people that are thrown in there because was it to be more palatable or what? But I think it's definitely been a lot more defined in its intention over the last couple of years, definitely, and it's expanding and growing, including new categories and stuff. But that one I'm not Caribbean, so I actually haven't seen the artists to I haven't looked through. We posted about it, but my assistant did that, and I haven't had a chance to go through him. So I don't know all the nominees and stuff.
That's how I was informed by your feed.
No, it's a really good post.
So the TV personality one, that's a new category, because I don't remember ever seeing that before.
Yeah, they're moving into the territories, moving into a new space.
Okay.
Yeah, the city should though. I mean, I was at the event. It was pretty good and stuff. Henry was done all the announcements and stuff and everything. Obviously. Henry, she's a new presenter. She's on. Oh God, she does a show with what's his name on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Harry. She does a show.
Harry Potter.
Yes, that's it. On Spotify, she does loads of bits, kind of thing. Like really, really cool girl. Very, very talented. I think big things are going to definitely happen for her.
Okay.
And she was just really good. Kanya spoke as well. I think. That's 25 years, did she say?
I think they're around there.
Yeah, 25 years going strong. It's going to be in Coventry this year, the actual live awards. So not in London as it usually is. Well, hasn't been for a little while actually. I don't think.
Is it going to have an audience this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what else was there? Oh, and Jules got nominated for Best Producer, which I'm very happy about. I love him. Very, very good and stuff. And obviously my friend Dana manages him. So yeah, well done, guys. But yeah, I thought it was a good mix. I think it's very difficult, right? So when you run any sort of award show, like, it's very hard to get it right. It really is. And also, like, you kind of need to balance things. So sometimes you can't please everybody. You just really can't, you know. Someone's always going to be upset. One year it might be Afro beats and next year it might be reggae. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just it does happen like that. But I think what they need is more money, to be honest, and more investment from various different companies so they can get it right. That's the problem with these things. It's like, for us, like, being in the audience, we just see it as like all shiny and nice and everything like that. But how it happens behind the scenes is just a whole different story. You know, it's been, I don't want to speak on Kanye's behalf, but any kind of award show going that amount of, for that long, it's hard, it's tough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they don't get half the investment that some of these award shows you see popping up every do you know what I mean, that get. So, like, I think it's people often don't know what's going on behind the scenes in general.
Yeah. No, I agree. But it just looked like a good selection of folks this year. I was like, okay, I'll probably watch this one because I haven't watched it in a little while. Other than last year, I watched it online. Yeah. I actually found.
Yeah, I thought they did really well with that, considering the lockdown and pandemic. It actually was very well delivered. And I think it was
Best Personality last year. Sorry, that's not new. Best TV Personality. I don't think that was new. I think that's definitely.
Yeah, they got TV.
I'm pretty sure that Chunks
Maya won it last year.
Yeah, was nominated.
Yeah. And they hosted. I think they did a really good job. It was very well delivered. I think, especially under the conditions.
Yes,
it was really good. So, and definitely, Kanye King is an icon in regards to, especially a woman in this space.
Yeah,
and I think the MOBOs have been through the highs and lows of being on broadcast TV, not being on broadcast TV. Yeah. The fact that it's actually a thing to have it in London because there was so much trouble attached. I remember the years that we used to go. There were elements that took it away from being what it was and celebrating what it was. So she's really ridden with her brand and taken it to higher heights. So
25 years is no small feat in any industry, but putting on an event consistently every year for 25 years is huge.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's huge. So it's very, very, very good.
Yeah. Did you guys? Sorry, can I just quickly ask? Did you guys see the the beef between Lani Good and Trillery Banks?
Yeah.
No. What was the beef, please? I'm already annoyed.
I know. I can see your face.
In Halloween, Lani dressed up as Tion
Halloween.
Wayne. Yeah, Halloween. Lani dressed up as Tion Wayne and did like a little sketch. With Tion Wayne and another girl was dressed up as Swams. I actually found it quite funny.
I saw that, but I think I saw that. I did see that.
So under that post, Trillery then was just like surviving Lani Good, like in the comments. And so Lani came back at her and was like, if you want beef, basically it's on, and did a diss track.
But Trillery done a diss line or something in one of her tracks, which I can't remember what it was. But like Lani's track here. It was too rude, and she done it at like a gas station. Like, I don't know if it's the same. Don't quote me. Gas station that
as Chip did this Stormzy.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it literally is the same one. I mean, that's why.
So that's the gas station. When you want to do this track, you got to go to that gas station. Yeah. That's quite iconic. I'd like to be that gas station. I think bare money.
But no, it was quite. I found it quite entertaining.
She's got skills, though, isn't it?
Yes. She was better than Trillery, I can't lie. She won that round.
Yes. And if I was Trillery, who was supposed to be a proper rapper, I'd be feeling mighty shit about myself that Lani Good actually, like, she dissed me properly.
Yeah.
Lani needs to do a track now with Nole, and then we're not going to see Trillery anymore. Like, then it's just, there was a girl called Trillery once. who.
But hold on. What's Trillery saying? She's surviving Lani, but what was the beef between her and like what happened?
No. She was saying that Tion is surviving Lani.
She was just defending. Okay, yeah. She was defending a man who did wrong.
Well, she was kind of just poking fun at Lani and just saying that she's obsessed. Like, you know, people say that she's obsessed with Tion Wayne, but I'm pretty sure if he gave her back her money, she'll be all right. But he's giving her back her money, innit? So
basically,
you know,
it's like at this point, just send her cash out, whatever, PayPal, send her 10 grand. And she'll probably post, you know what, guys, he gave me the 10 grand. Then if she keeps on doing anything, then we can be like, okay, it's all right, Lani. But you're liking it. I think this is all PR for him as well. Nobody was thinking about him until she started.
Yeah.
Nice.
Serious.
Well, there you go.
It can't hurt.
Is there anything else? I thought there was something else in the culture, but I can't remember. Maybe.
You know, as soon as we go off air, then I'm going to be like, oh, there was that thing.
Yeah. It's always the way, isn't it?
I can't think of anything now. It was the baby that was pressing that I was like, please don't talk about that. I can't think of anything else.
All right.
I guess it's what's his name? Digger D. I don't know if you guys saw that. Digger D and hit basically. So I can't remember their names. It's so bad. But basically, like two girls basically fighting over him at the moment. So
this is where I feel
my man, and the other one's like, yeah, he's just my weekend.
This now makes me feel like this time of the party when the kids come downstairs and they start talking. They're like, yeah, as the auntie, like, okay, so okay, wait, who's Digger D? Okay. It's over my head now. I'm like, I know, and I'll come and start embarrassing the people at the family, the youngsters at the family. Like the family do.
But to be fair, because the thing is, the other girl, the American girl, she literally came out of nowhere unprovoked. Yeah. So, and Digger D did post the girl and was like, do you know what I mean? The girl that he's with, and like basically saying, we're good. I don't know what this is about, that kind of thing. So like he's trying to defend her, I guess, but the other girl's just not having it. And she was saying something about, is this how UK girls are or something?
There was a further development that took another twist.
Oh, yes.
Fredo. So the girl that is actually with the Hennessy Sutton.
Yes, Hennessy. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. That girl, Fredo is like, Digger D, you're always going after my hose or something.
Yeah, my clothes.
The girl then posts, and you were sliding in my DMs when I was underage. Development. Ooh. That was about an hour ago. I saw that, and I was like, look at that. All getting involved in the conversation, but now look where it's gone. Fredo, nobody was talking about you.
This is because I feel like now auntie mode. Why?
That's grace. Man.
What's going on, children? Because imagine this was our nieces and nephews talking. What's going on, children? How do we sort this out? Because I can't sit and listen to this nonsense. It's nonsense. What's going on?
It's the DMing, like literally, like the people. You need to be more wise, especially when you're in these positions. But you're there just looking at a pretty face, and you're DMing girls. You don't even know their age.
Yeah,
it's like that's you know.
See, that's the exploration there, side man. Go and talk up to these young boys. What they, exposing themselves and leaving themselves ripe to be criticized and got into trouble.
And he took her to Dubai.
Allegedly, possibly. Maybe,
but he did definitely take her to Dubai. But I think by the time Tennessee and Fredo went to Dubai, she was like over 16, but she was still very young. And again, it is like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
what are you guys doing?
Is a child.
Can I say something that happened at the party last night? Kevin Whitehead was there from the Whitehead Bros, and he sang bits of 187 and Wish I Was a G, and got my life. But then I was just thinking, like, him singing out of his head, because I don't know how old he is. He's of our age, our generation. And I think I was saying to someone that, because I like Digger D, but I'm a grown-ass auntie listening to what Digger D is saying. It seems a bit weird. When they get to a certain age, listening to young artists wholeheartedly feels a bit weird. I don't know if you aunties feel the same way. Only because you mentioned this, I am a fan of Digger D a little bit, but I know it's a bit weird.
No, I like there's some not necessarily him, but of like younger artists there are some tracks that I like. I can't really think on the top of my head, but like I just don't take the whole thing seriously. Do you know what I mean? I kind of see that music as more entertainment, and maybe you know, because we've been through it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just
that's the word, entertainment, because I think it is that, because like obviously like Mary J. Blige, I would, you know, that's heartstrings, emotion, life soundtrack. Summer Walker, you're entertainment because you're a little girl talking about these things.
Yes.
It's in my brain switches, like I get you.
That's exactly what it is. Like I like Digga D, but I like him like a nephew. So I liked him after watching the documentary on him more so than his music. It is like, I actually really do want you to fix up and win. I want him to have that longevity story where he can be like, remember when I was a young buck and I was doing all of this stupidness and then I grew to be some mogul somewhere. It's like, I want to see that trajectory, but at least I want it to happen for somebody like that's young now and doing dumb stuff. Like I want them to then be the OG at 50 and talking about, guys, you know, knuckle down, just do your thing, do this business. And I want him to win. That's why I like him. But other than that, he's just doing stupidness with girls. And Fredo, you shouldn't have been chatting because now we know you DM younger girls as well.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
All right.
I think she hasn't thrown up receipts yet, but watch by tonight, she probably will.
Okie dokie. And that's that. So, well, this is where I normally say what's made you sad, man and gad. But Auntie Nana, what's on your hit list, or what's pissed you off, or what would you recommend?
I have I think I'm going to call this like a public service announcement. Yeah. On the weekend, we were all supposed to be out for birthdays, but I still went out with Sharona for her birthday. Went to a Caribbean food establishment, and I ordered plantain, and it came out, and it was dry, like yellow banana and fried. I was sitting there, vexed, and I think I had one piece of it. And on the car journey to the next club that we went to, I decided that plantain needs to be treated like steak. Like we need a rating system. So when somebody says, I would like a portion of plantain, the waiter or waitress then needs to say, okay, madam, today the plantain that we have is yellow or black or a mixture in between. It will have a slight sweetness, very ripe sweetness. I want all of that to be told to me so then I know what to order. At this moment in time, I'm not going to another restaurant without asking specific questions about the ripeness of the plantain because it hurts my heart. Restaurants, please just do this simple grading system so that we don't have to suffer from heartbreak each time we order plantain. It's not all the same and it's not all made equal. There's different consistencies and not everybody likes a hard, firm, dry plantain.
Very true.
Do you know what? We ordered from an establishment the other day, and the plantain was dry, and it was such a disappointment. And they actually added the plantain to their burgers and stuff, which my daughter had, and it's like it's supposed to enhance. You know, when plantain is wonderful within the sandwich of the thing, and it enhances things. It was dry, and as you said, it was like a yellow banana, and this would knock on. And I 100% agree. I also actually think, yeah, exactly what you're saying. Well, how do you like your plantain? Have the different, but because the only thing is that sometimes with plantain, you don't know how it's going to come out unless you've got it really super ripe. Because there's sometimes they're quite firm, and if you fry them at the right stuff, they turn to the nice. Well, I like them translucent consistency. But there's others where no matter what you do, even as ripe as they get, they for some reason they just stay hard. So I don't know if it's a matter of
overripe. That's when the consistency isn't quite ripe, like the banana is almost turning. But I'm not even saying because you can't always, as a restaurant, know exactly they're going to be black, because sometimes when they come in, they're yellow, innit? And that day you may have to cook them and they're yellow. So when I'm ordering, you should say today's plantain is a yellow, firmer, not too sweet. Then I can be like, oh, okay, I know I don't like that plantain, but there are lots of people that do like that plantain. So I want to be told the same way when I get a steak, they're going to say rare, medium, well done, to me, it's the same shit. Plantain, it's not all the same. You've got to cook it in different ways. So I want to have the freedom and choice so that I'm not disappointed, because I can cry over plantain. So we don't want tears in your restaurant. Let's just be a little bit more thoughtful.
I 100% agree. I think it's about time. I fully agree. Well, my guys, any more comments before we go?
We do have, I guess this may be a request or just a celebration, that Shaka Khan and Stephanie Mills are doing the verses.
Oh, can I just celebrate with that?
This.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And Bone Thugs and 3-6 Mafia are doing one too.
When
and literally both of them.
When's this happening?
It's soon.
You're all waving your arms and you don't even know when it is.
I forgot the dates. Listen, I'm excited for both. And Stephanie Mills and Shaka Khan. It's just going to be a sing fest. I'm going to get to sing, and then Bone Thugs. I just want to hit like the first album.
I'm excited about.
Thuggish Rubbish Bone, For the Love of Money, all that type of stuff. Anyway, go continue.
Ade says a deep analysis of Plantain. Definitely, like we are Plantain warriors here. And Ronald says, question: do you get to see the Soul Train Awards over there? I've never watched it personally.
Maybe clips.
No, we get BET, we get clips on YouTube. So that's something's happening with Soul Train Awards. What is it, Ronald? I think is there a reason why you're mentioning it? Because I think I thought I saw news about the Soul Train Awards the other day. I can't remember what it was, but
it definitely gets shown on BET.
No, I know we got a BET Awards. I don't know if it gets shown.
No, it gets shown like late night on BET. I've watched partial part of it, but on BET.
They're saying Ashanti and Maxwell are going to be honoured
on the Soul Train Awards.
Yeah. I'm just searching. I can't see anything specific. Why, Ronald, are you going to be on there?
Come and do a performance.
See you performing.
See, as I said again, though it's 3 of us, it's not a short show. We've been on for 2 hours and 10 minutes, and we blatantly could go on talking for another hour.
But anyway, that's our time. That's our time, ladies and gentlemen. The pub's done and the party done, as they say. Thank you for watching Your Aunties Could Never, episode 85. I'm Auntie AK. I'm here with my wonderful aunties, Auntie Sade, Auntie Nana, and sending love to Auntie Farah.
Yes.
We will be back next Tuesday, as usual, 5 p.m, where you'll get us doing more chatting, talking, discussing, advising as we do. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're on all the social media platforms. And don't forget to listen back to us on our podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, and all the other popular listening platforms. I think that's it. Is there any other
one more? I know Ronald just said good show. See you next week, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye.